Hello, this is Pixie doing another video, and I talk about some crypto stuff, but I call out a few things actually. So there's a project called SAFUUX, and they've done something where they sacrificed their SAFU into a new project they're going to roll out, SAFUUX, and they're going to have their own blockchain. That's the proposed roadmap for this project. Now, it's run by a guy who used to be called Bryan, I think, and his new name now is called Bryan King Legend, which it sounds very sort of egocentric. I mean, I like to think I'm a bit of a king and stuff, but I wouldn't necessarily go and change my name. But anyway, there's also other reasons probably to change their name. Sometimes it's the dodge situations, like there's someone looking there to get money back or something off them. So sometimes they take different names. But that might be not it. It could be perfectly fine. So there's going to be a little bit of FUD in there, obviously, because I have invested in rebase tokens in the past, and I might have got a slight bit of profit out of them. I've also been rug pulled by some of these token projects, so it's not always fun games, which can be quite a bit of a pain really. Because there was a kind of season for it, so somebody brings out an idea, it works quite well, everyone gets involved, or it picks up a lot of traction, let's put it that way, and then various other versions of it start rolling out, and some of them are going to be okay, some of them are going to be terrible. So, you know, and they just claim things like you can get a million percent APY, so with the rebase, it auto compounds, so it keeps putting on interest, and what that means is you get more tokens, but as people get more tokens, they start selling off some of the tokens, and the price starts to drop. They think, well, I invested, I've got 1,000 tokens, and then within a month I've earned another 1,000 tokens. Well, I'm going to sell them 1,000 tokens and then keep the other 2,000 tokens, or I might sell it all off and start making a profit, and so the price drops. The problem is with Bryan's plan is that he wants to have it as a blockchain, which hasn't been done, and I don't think it can be, because the rebasing is like an extra layer. So it's like so you got your layer 1 blockchain, and it means anything built on that is affected instantly by the rebasing. It's not like you can switch that off. And if they can switch that, which actually I have done for SAFU, it's a bit of a mess if you're switching it on, switching it off. I mean, you wouldn't have much faith in a project. You know, it's a bit like if you set up a business account with a bank, and then they were able to keep changing all the rules, which they actually do to a some degree, but like interest to say, oh, we're going to pay a bit more for your overdraft or whatever, but it's not usually excessive. But if they turn around and say, well, we're going to freeze, well, they could freeze your account. I mean, there are legal financial controls in place around banking, but you know what they are. You can look them up. It's not like a case if the bank manager's having a bad day and then they're going to change all the rules. In some countries they do, definitely. So that's kind of one element, but I was going to go into some other elements about Bryan, and maybe some misconception that some of his maybe lead members, who I don't know if they're kind of sponsored by him or something's going on there, because there's a bit of a shadiness. So there's more speculation than there should be, which I can understand, because if you want to promote the token, however, without the blockchain and without rolling out the new token on this blockchain, anybody promoting something, there's going to be no money there anyway, because why would somebody want to buy something that doesn't really exist? It's just kind of it's beyond Ethereum. It's completely ethereal. It's sort of like an idea of creating something, and there's a lot of other groups that have done it, so it's kind of borrowed ideas. So like SafeMoon, which I was invested, I made maybe a fraction of an amount of money, and I left it in there, and I think it dropped. So it's kind of, initially I made a make sure they know where I'm going. That's it, just in case they want to cut in front of me. So yeah, so I think I put £100 in. it went up to 200. But well, I wasn't loaded at the time. That's when I was just getting into crypto, and I thought great. And then it went up, and then it went down, and it went down, and then it went down. So I took some money out, put it. I diversified it because that's what it said. Like try to take an initial investment, put a bit of that in elsewhere. And the problem was, yeah, basically it's not going anywhere, the project. I mean, it's been years since I've had money in SAFUUX, and there's all these things that are supposedly doing. So there's something I would like to keep a distance away from now, because I think I've seen so much FUD and stuff about it. And there's also talk about the CEO or John, who's the CEO, about sort of getting myself in some sort of legal hot pot. He's basically been siphoning off money for his own pocket. And the problem is with this, going back to SAFUUX, is that they have this pot of money, and it's basically to just centralise their cash. They're giving it all into this one sort of wallet, and they're hoping that everything gets set up and they'll be able to see all this money. But just because you see tokens or you see numbers in front of you, or calculators or anything you put in front of you, it doesn't. Let's see where they're going. It doesn't mean that it's a safe. You know, maybe nothing's safe. Maybe it's probably delusional to believe anything's safe. And I've been into crypto for probably about 5 years now. I think I guess time's gone quick. And yeah, I can't remember when I first got into it. So it was a long time ago. Just thinking back in my head. So yeah, I mean, there's been some successes, some failures in my experience investment, but I've learned now. I'm looking for the patterns that work, and I'm following patterns of success. So when projects are unsuccessful because of, you know, maybe past experiences highlights that, then it's something to take note of. And so you got to give it maybe not just a red flag, give it an amber flag or whatever. You know, maybe the project didn't work as well, maybe they overpromised. There's some concerns, a few issues there. So you want to say the amber flag will tell you that you should never FOMO into this project. You can put a small bag in it. I mean, for example, like Squid Grows, this coin has come out and it looks good, and you know, it looks great. And I'm not saying it's not good and it's not great, and you know, it seems interesting anyway. And there's a lot of there's probably some green flags in there as well, but there's things like the actual developer, is that a true story of his background, is it not? And also, does it really matter? Maybe it's just like selling the brand, you know. It's a bit like Squid Grow itself is a sort of an amalgamation of different coins' names. But it's success. If you see success in it, that's fine. But if they start doing things that you don't, you know, like taking out liquidity and putting it elsewhere, and you find out that you've locked your money up and it's just paid for advertising boards around the place, because it's only going to appeal to people that are into crypto. It's not going to appeal to Joe Blogs walk around and to turn around and say, oh, look at that, I really fancy getting a Squid Grow. They're going to say, what the hell's that? They're going to get to familiarise with basic things. Let's see how quick before this changes. So yeah, they're only going to familiarise with the basic things before they move into, or anyone really moves into other types of coins, because they won't understand how to buy it. So where do I get this coin? I mean, they go to the website and I read about it, but it's still leaps of faith, because people need to know what Pancake Swap is and stuff. And some of this stuff I might say is foreign, but in the future it can be reviewed and looked at, and it will actually make sense. It will sort of slot it into place. So there's some issues there's some flags that are raised with Bryan's project, and also with these people promoting it, because they're telling me things that are not true. They need to do homework. So they were talking about, so they went to Dubai, which he was there. I think he tried to speak to the royal family of Dubai, who were involved with the Grove token. And well, basically there's some sheiks that are involved, and these princes that are involved with the project, and that John G is actually a lead man for him. So he's acted as his kind of advisor, so he's actually working for him, and he has a token as well. So he's I guess you could say he's in the pocket of them, and in essence he's under a contract, an agreement with them. So this SAFUUX person, something Greek, whoever's he's a crypto Greek, was suggesting that he would be looking to use the SAFUUX blockchain that doesn't exist to build onto with a growth token. And would that happen? Probably not, because basically the chain doesn't exist at the moment, it's just talk. And the secondly is, why was he kicked out of Dubai? Well, he was kicked out of Dubai because his project is kind of anti-Sharia. There's Sharia finance, as they deal with the Islamic finance system, and they don't believe in loans and stuff. If you borrow money and there's a charge put in place to borrow this money, that's the agreement. There's no sort of extra interest and other stuff on it. So if you've got a rebasing token that's acting like leverage, and it's suggesting you're going to make more money when the tokenomics suggest you'll get more tokens but less cash for your tokens, and possibly you might lose your money altogether because you have restricted access to your funds, it probably goes against the Islamic belief, because they're upfront and they don't play around, they're not trying to interest, and also gambling, so it comes under as a gambling token. So it's kind of anti what they believe in. I mean, there are things where you can borrow money, but what you do is you put collateral of 100%, and you can borrow 80%, and then if it gets prices changes, or you might get to a point where it can get liquidated, and then the money gets taken, and you don't get your money back because that's what you put on there. But that's the only kind of leverage, and that's based on the money you put in, because you prove that you can actually to afford that, to borrow with some money. And then most people try to, in the bull market, or borrowing on top of borrowing on borrowing, but being quite ridiculous in the hope of getting more money back, like savages, financial savages. And there was some stuff about also getting exchange listings and stuff for this SAFUUX coin, and well, that's not going to happen, because yet again it's all caught up in this mechanism. You sacrifice the money, you can't have an access to it, it's centralized, there's no token that's been returned back, you got, like I say, you got no access, there's no blockchain built for it, so there's no way in hell that you're going to have put on an exchange. You've got to pay to go on an exchange. You can't just go and just jump on it and people go, yeah, we love your project, because it doesn't make sense. It just sounds too good to be true, and everyone can smell it as well. So it's just a little concerning. I mean, I've been into different projects. I've just been following this stuff, and I'm thinking, you know, there's some red flags. I mean, it could work out a little bit, but I don't think ultimately it's doomed, basically, because you've got somebody who's not a computer programmer. He might have some knowledge, but it's very basic, and he's just going to churn out something, and when it fails, he'll find something else to blame it on. And the thing is with these projects is there's a cult mentality, which I understand. But so my clear advice is anyone can invest what they like into, but I wouldn't be over investing. There's obvious yellow flags. You could look at it, things that you might say, well, I'm going to need to question this, or do a bit of research on it, because you can see your money. It's like a bank. If it showed you your money but you had no access to it, then it's not quite right, is it? It's not. You should have access to your own finances. There's a over-promise, and also just look at the structure of it. It was kind of like, well, you'll get more money back if you invest now. You know, you got to invest in this time period and stuff. and it's just playing with your emotions. It's really bad, because what happens is people won't want to invest ever again into blockchain because they think everything's like this, and it's not. I mean, it's just like you taking a loan off a loan shark, and they said, yeah, we got flexi interest, it's fine, and don't worry, it won't be too bad. And then it is. it's like it never ends. That's the other thing. They used to have different schemes like that, where people would borrow money, and they would be paying a small amount of money each week, and then they just keep getting this person would come up and start chatting to them and pretending everything's fine, and it clearly not. It's just a game to extract money from people. I think there's used to be provident, so they call it provident loans. So I mean, there's lots of things in all walks of life that are not quite right, and I've been burnt a good few times. You know, I've had some worse burns, but most projects can only really sustain for a year. If you have your money locked in though, and you promise a blockchain in the future, and you pay people to keep promoting it, that's fine. But the only thing is, people that have stood by Bryan and have basically enticed people into join in, when it falls, they will be the ones that people will be after, because they'll be saying, well, why did you promote it so much? Why did you do that? And they say, oh, well, I lost money too. I said, yeah, well, I lost my house, or something crazy, because some people really think, oh, well, this is going to be my ultimate retirement plan. I've got a few things I'm looking to line up for, but I'm always got to look at the I need to centralise my money, not in a kind of decentralised environment, but I need to invest in things that actually go in places. So the Polygon or Matic, as it's known, Matic is a token. With regards to Meta, there's a relationship there. There's also Disney involved with Polygon and NFTs and stuff that's going to be related to that. How that develops out, that'd be interesting. And there's also some stuff going on with Phantom. Phantom's starting to pump a lot more. So I mean, these things are good to get into. Once you see the success in things, and you can follow. Now, during the bull market, everything's going to do pretty well, as long as it's not going to be screwing you over. A lot of other things people do in these platforms is they get, you know, like not necessarily SAFUUX, but they lock your other money up, and we give you this other token instead. The other money is the real deal, like the Bitcoin, the Ethereum, the AVAX, the Matic, BUSD, all of that, Binance or BNB. All this is all real stuff. So when it folds the thing, they can take all that away and it just be banked somewhere, and then you just get left with this useless token that doesn't have much value. So I don't know what's happening with Animal Farm. It looks like it might be a bit of a game, but I think this Forex guy is trying to make it work. But in the long term, these things are a bit of a game, and so you've got to prepare yourself. Well, and it's okay to play games. It's fine. It's okay to gamble. You just got to know that's what you're doing. If you believe you can go up 1,000,000% and it's a safe investment and you're going to be a millionaire, then you're wrong, because a load of people have got to fail for you to get ahead of the game. There's, you know, people say, oh, I made money on it. Well, yeah, you did, but think of the people that, you know, you might have claim you made £10,000, then probably 10,000 people had the wall pulled over their eyes. So you've got to have ethics and morals. If we go back to some of the Islamic thing, and the other banking system is like Hebrew. So there was this Kayani West thing, and Islamic businesses and stuff. Oh, quite tight. That's quite interesting. There's a van with graffiti on it. Okay, now it's going to be tight one, this is. There we go. Anyway, that's my rant of the day, crypto rant. I will speak to you soon. Bye.